Hello, I'm Karen from theneedlefelter.com. In the previous video, I answered what is needle felting, and today we're tackling the question, what materials do I need to get started? The good news is that you don't need a ton of fancy tools or supplies to begin your needle felting journey. The essentials are pretty straightforward, so let's take a look at each one. First, you'll need some needles. I recommend starting with 2 to 3 medium gauge felting needles. 38 gauge star is a great all-purpose one. These needles are quite delicate, so having a few on hand is smart in case one breaks, and they will break at some point. Next, you need a felting mat. This is just a soft surface that you'll work on to protect your tabletop or work surface and the tips of your needles. And of course, you need some wool. You can start with any kind of needle felting wool, but merino, Corriedale, or some of the blends make great options. You also need an idea of what you'd like to create. I'd recommend choosing something simple like a basic shape or a small animal. And finally, try to set achievable expectations. I don't know about you, but when I start a new craft, my starry eyes don't match my skill level. I need to lower my expectations or I'm basically setting myself up to fail. Where you start is not where you probably want to be. But that said, you can level up your needle felting skills relatively quickly. So set yourself up for success by choosing a beginner level project that you're excited about making, and don't start it when you feel rushed or tired. While the basics are enough to get you started, there are some other tools that you might want to add to your arsenal eventually. Things like ball-headed pins, a sewing gauge or rulers, balls, and scissors. These are optional, and you may already have some of them around the house. Finally, let's talk about needle felting kits. There are tons of these on the market, and they can be tempting for beginners. You can expect to pay between $25 to $80, and that usually doesn't include shipping costs. Should you fork over the cash for an expensive kit? I wouldn't recommend it. Here's why. The reality is you might not like needle felting. I would suggest buying an inexpensive beginner kit. For me, I started with the Dimensions Fox. It comes with printed instructions, a mat, needles, some embroidery floss, and the wool. At the time, I believe I paid about $7 for it. I made my fox. I didn't buy an expensive kit until I verified that I kind of like felting and I want to learn more. One caveat I will make about this particular kit is that it did not include enough orange wool. I had watched a few of Serafina Fiber Arts videos and understood that the wool would compress significantly. So I scrunched up the orange wool, compared it to the pattern, and could see that it would not be enough. I purchased about 2 ounces of a natural white wool before I started the fox. I think I paid around $5 for that. I used the white as my base for the fox's body and head, and that way I didn't have to worry about running out of the orange. Now this was back in 2017. It's a little bit more today. Amazon sells the Dimensions Fox kit for $9.98 and offers a 1.76 ounce or basically a 50-gram pack of orange wool for about $5.99. And just for reference, this is a 50-gram pack of wool. So even if you bought the kit and the extra orange wool on Amazon, your cost would be about $16 for a similar experience. If you're unsure if needle felting is your thing, go cheap the first time. If you love it, then you can invest in better materials. That's it for this FAQ. I hope it inspires you to felt something, and if you don't felt, make something. See you next time.